It is a cold morning. Don't know if you can see my breath, but that's all right. We're going to talk about coordination and skill level in singing. Here's a phrase that I've come up with. Maybe other people have used it, but this is the truth. What separates the best of the best from the best of the rest is the best of the best do the simple little things better. This is how it all adds up. The difficult things in singing, in any skill really, are only possible if you've mastered the basics. Everybody's trying to sing a C5, a D5, sing high notes, but they don't realize, because no one's ever told them, or they just refuse to accept the truth, that those high level skills are not possible without the mastery of the basics. So if you want to have a very successful singing career, you got to master the basics. If you want to just have a mediocre singing career, if you master the basics, you'll still do great. If you just try and tackle the most difficult things head on, you're going to struggle for a very long time. And you will still have to learn to master the basics. So, what are the basics? What are the basics in singing? Every sound you make is a combination of coordinations. And I have a program that trains singers coordinations called the Big Five Coordinations of Singing. So, that's how you do it. Remember, coordination in singing, skill level in singing. What is coordination? The coordination is your skill level in moving a moving part of your body in coordination with other moving parts of your body. If you want to have good balance, well, it's not just about your feet or your center. It's about many, many things coming together to make things work. In your singing, you have a combination of coordinations that must work together. In fact, they're always working together, and they're working together when you speak. That's the great thing about singing is you've already developed a lot of the coordinations you need to a certain level required for speaking and communicating. So here are the coordinations you've got to work on. You have to understand how air fuels your voice. You have to understand what air pressure and air flow are and how to use them, how to coordinate the movement of air in and out of your body in an efficient way, because like I'm talking and walking up a steep hill right now, I have to exhale and talk and then breathe back in. So as I'm doing this, it's kind of like holding my breath and exercising, but I'm using the same breathing technique I would as in singing. All right, it's just a little harder because I'm exercising. So you've got to understand how to get air in and out of your body in a very calm, efficient way. Subglottal pressure is the air pressure in your lungs below your vocal folds, and that pressure is required to move your vocal folds. If you have no pressure coming up, then there's not enough air pressure to sustain the vibration of your vocal folds, because when they close, they resist air pressure, air flow. A very breathy sound has a high flow rate. Okay, so you've got to understand and learn your airflow and air pressure control. It is extremely important, regardless of what some people people may say, you don't have to support, you don't have to worry about that. Well, that's not true. It's just simply not true. There's not any great singer that doesn't consider at least their breathing timing and breathing depth while singing. The next coordination, hey, how's it going, everybody? Good to see you. Random question. My favorite color, that would be green. So, next coordination you need in singing is vocal fold coordination. What does that mean? Your vocal folds have to move hundreds of times per second in order to produce sound. So that's faster than a hummingbird beats its wings every second. Okay? A C6 for a female singer, high C, is 1,000 contacts of the vocal folds per second. What? Yeah, it's insane. My speaking pitch is probably around 115, 120 times per second. An A is 440. You see, vocal folds have to move extremely fast. So to get coordination of vocal folds, here are your basic coordinations. You need adduction or chord closure, and you need to coordinate how much mass is moving. Mass equals speed. The higher you go up, the harder it is to move thick vocal folds or very meaty vocal folds. There's a speed limit, okay? Mass can only go so fast. The vocal folds can do something amazing. They can start using less mass. They can use only the very edges, and they can use everything in between. So, vocal fold coordination, chord closure, adduction, compression, all relatively the same thing in what they're doing, and the amount of mass used. Low notes, more mass. High notes, faster speed, less mass. You also have the length and shortness of the vocal folds, which is a coordination, and that can be easily trained just by doing some sirens. Whee! Things that go from low to high stretch your vocal folds. However, if you were to train that with a lot more focus, you would practice very slow movements. Not just the ooh-wee. You would practice the downside. Ooh-wee. I find the vast majority of singers, even highly skilled singers, have not practiced the down side or going from high to low. So those are coordinations of the vocal folds you've got to work on. Now, moving up into the vocal tract. Here you have your resonance, your pharyngeal resonance. What does that mean? Well, some people say twang. That's part of it. People talk about pharyngia or pharyngeal quality. That's same thing as twang. People talk about nasal resonance. Sometimes they confuse that with twang or the pharyngeal sound. Remember, all these coordinations are working together. There's focusing, tightening of tiny little tissues to give your voice clarity. There's the height of your larynx, your soft palate, position of your tongue. So it's a complex system. A lot of moving parts that need coordination development. Now let's go up from there. Now we have the tongue. The tongue is crazy. If you weren't there when I did this, do this with me now. Finger on top of your tongue, thumb underneath your chin, not on the bone, further back. pull it out. That's how thick your tongue is. Okay? So your tongue is the biggest moving part in your singing system. Well, at least in the vocal tract. Okay, so tongue is responsible for consonants and every vowel sound. Actually, the tongue position, shape, affects every sound you make. Okay, so if you want to tune your singing, tune your resonance, you have to work on these coordinations. You have to work on the coordination of the tongue. Not only for shaping your sound, but also for articulation speed. If you go la, 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 how fast can you do that? What about I, how fast can you move the back of your tongue? See, there's a lot of things. The more flexible your tongue is, the looser and the faster it can articulate, the easier it is to make consonants and vowels without interrupting your airflow and without causing tension and squeeze and tightness in the voice. And the last coordination you have to work on is your embouchure. Embouchure simply means the position and shape of your mouth during singing. Now, people don't realize in the beginning that the opening position and shape of your mouth are not made with the lips. Number one, the opening is created by your jaw joint. Okay, so to open your mouth, you have to open your jaw. Otherwise, you get this. Teeth closed, lips pulling back. How do you move your lips? Well, your lips move thanks to the dozens of muscles of facial expression. To smile, you don't move your mouth, you raise your cheeks. Think about that for a minute. If you want to smile, it's the raising of the cheeks and the loosening of the jaw that create the smile. So, understanding your embouchure is important because it also changes your sound and the height of your larynx. So all these coordinations combine during every sound you make. All right, we're about at the halfway point. Here you go. There's a tiny little flag up there, and now I'll zoom out. Isn't that, whoops, that's a little too fast with this zoom on. Beautiful morning, even though it's gray. Beautiful country, and not raining yet. So, if you want to become a really good singer, the very first thing you have to do is to develop your coordinations. The ones I've listed are all of the coordinations involved in singing. And if you look under a microscope, of course, it gets even more complex than that. The good news is you don't have to worry about that. Things organize themselves. There's some other skills involved, I'll have to be honest. One skill is singing with an emotional intent. You see, singing is simply communicating an emotionally charged vibration, an emotional message. You sing when you're happy, you sing when you're sad. Okay, it's an expression. So when you activate an emotional intent, your body will automatically organize all of these coordinations to help you communicate effectively. The other skill that is incredibly important to develop is listening. Listening. your ability to hear and truly hear, not just what your conscious mind is aware of, but hearing with both halves of your brain. I won't go into that today. But listening for rhythm, listening for articulation, listening for the true vowel the singer is using, and not the speaking vowel your speech center brain is identifying. I could talk about that for a long time, but we're talking about your skill level and your coordinations. So, as always, if you have any questions, you can ask them at any time. See, I've been singing for a long time, worked professionally around the globe for decades, over 30 years, and it's been wonderful. It's been a good experience, not without a lot of work, research, and time invested, but it's what I was passionate about. And now I'm doing my best to share what I know, what I've learned, and my passion with you to accelerate your journey so your journey can go faster than mine. I used to be preoccupied with trying to find the magic recipe code for every note. Then singing gets really complicated because every note you sing, you're working to shape it just perfectly. And that will just slow you down. And it's a task no one can fulfill. So it's much better to develop your coordinations and get them combining and working together to produce the sounds you want. You've got to remember, okay, your body can only combine coordinations in as much as you have developed the skill and coordination itself. Think of this. If you and I are doing karate, kickboxing, dance, right? And we want to kick our leg way up above our head. Our mind knows how to do that, but if we haven't developed the flexibility, what's going to happen? It's not going there. Doesn't matter how much I know where I want it, it's still not going there because I have not developed the coordination. And I've seen way too many singers with a clear concept of what needs to happen and how it needs to combine with who lacked the coordination to execute. And it never happens. And that's why I have this program, the Big 5 Coordinations of Singing. You can check it out on my website, singingrevealed.com. Click on the Big 5 to help singers develop their coordination. So when you go for that high kick, your leg's just gonna soar right up. Why? Because you developed the coordination and the flexibility. Same thing in singing. You can know how it works and you can lack the coordination and skill level, and that will keep you locked out of heaven. All right, so that's the monologue today on the coordinations of singing. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, hit me up in the chat. Remember to like and follow, and then you'll get notified next time I go live, and you can ask me your questions. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you next time.